Southwest Florida, welcome back. This is Lee Pitts Live. Of course, I'm Lee Pitts. I'm so thrilled that you stayed with us on our maiden voyage here at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. Fabulous show lined up. Get a chance to talk to Dr. Jesse Bryson. He's the president and CEO of I Will Mentorship Foundation and Dragonfly, housed right here in the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. Also, Joseph Cofield is here. We'll be talking about his upcoming adventures, and you know he always got some great adventures. And finally, we'll get a chance to talk to Kevin Augustus and Erica Augustus, the founders of Two Style Mo. We'll get that title right. That's Two Style Mo. They'll be here in the studio. Southwest Florida, welcome back to Lee Pitts Live. We're so excited to be here at the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. It's just been a treat being here and meeting all these fine people who are making a difference in our community. And we got one here right now, Dr. Jesse Bryson, the CEO and founder of Dragonfly and I Will. He's been so kind to grace our set. Let me bump you in, Doc.
Right, thank you.
And along the way, won that gold apple for the Lee County School District back in the day, right?
Yes, sir.
Did that gold apple change your life in any way?
I can say it has. It's been a pleasure to be recognized, as with other teachers who have not won the golden apple, for the hard work and dedication that teachers do every day here in Lee County to bring our youth for the next generation.
Proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity.
Absolutely, sir.
Sitting up here on Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated show.
All right, I hear you.
We won't hold that against you.
All right.
I used to tutor the Kappas in school and helped y'all to graduate, so I feel delighted to see that you've made something out of yourself. Come on, man, hit me with a zinger, man.
No, it's all good.
You don't have a zinger?
Good. No, I'm going to let you go with it.
I was thinking, I'm over for a zinger, man. All right, I appreciate that, Doc. What do you have a doctorate in?
It's in education.
Okay. And people mostly remember you, certainly when you were on my show, you were working in the district and you're no longer working in the school district now. You spun off and started I Will and Dragonfly. Tell us what those are.
Yes, well, I Will Mentorship Foundation was started back in 2015 while I was still employed. Through the pandemic, I seen that it was an opportunity and a calling to really give it my all, and I looked at the pandemic as an opportunity. And I call it opportunity is where when blessing and hard work comes together. And so I was able to go ahead and fully launch into that, and we was able to start our urban community farm, which throughout the pandemic we fed 3 feeding centers and over 900 pounds of food daily, while also mentoring people and giving them outdoor activities for a social and mental benefit. The Dragonfly Logistics was a logistical entity that was started. Again, if you look at the COVID pandemic, people went home. However, they still had to have parcels delivered and did for logisticals. But Dragonfly Logistics is more of a philosophy, not to be imitated, but to understand that sometimes we have to create our own opportunities and looking at the world around us and not think on a local level, but think on a national and a global level. And the most important thing to me was that it was able to employ the people from the community, at the same time be able to give back and impact the community and create a feeder system for the community.
You're right here housed in the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center. Tell us about that process and how that's going for you to be a part of the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center.
Under the new leadership, it's been very insightful. I think that their mentality of changing the philosophy here has been great. When I say that, it means that they're creating us in a collaborative effort to not only, again, think locally, but come together, use our collaboration, use our skill sets, i.e. I cooperate with the mechanics that's here, with getting students through training program. I serve as a feeder for them. There's a photography unit who I like to use as a marketing agent, and then also in the physical fitness using the gym apparatus. So it's teaching us how to come together and giving us the tools necessary to be global or national entities.
When people think of I Will and Dragonfly, it's really about working with youths.
Yes, absolutely, to 90% of that. I say that because we do create a feeder system of skill sets and collegiate skills together to feed into vocational STEM vocational skills, which is sorely needed here in the community, and additionally to getting your college STEM degrees in the community.
Academics and brain is just something that's at your foundation as it relates to our youth. You know that that is the path to moving on to a bigger and better life.
Yes, sir. And one of the things that we always share with the youth, many of our youth always associate themselves and success with athletics. And I always tell them athletics is an opportunity. You are not a commodity. You are an intelligent human being that can provide worth to the world other than your physical ability.
You early on, you mentioned that you got the epiphany to move forward. Of course, you always had it in your mind. You were conceptualizing, spinning off and doing your own thing and creating this. It's a nonprofit, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir.
Right. So, and then the pandemic, you just went ahead and implemented things at a greater level, have increased at an increasing rate. I said that to say that, was that a great decision for you?
I think it was a very blessing. It was an awesome opportunity for me, and I thank God for the vision and the work ethic to go ahead and pursue that and taking advantage of the environment that we were in during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. After the pandemic is slowly going down, you talked about there was opportunity there as a result of the pandemic.
Yes.
Now that the pandemic is slowly weaning away, are there opportunities still there and even at a better level now that you have infrastructure in place?
That's correct, Lee. They're actually at a greater level now because the world we knew prior to the pandemic and the world we know post-pandemic is no longer exists. So therefore, in which we have to change from an educational perspective and also from a workforce perspective in how we need to train our students, how we need to prepare our students for that future workforce, because now a lot of things are distance and we have to get past the point where our kids normally will need face-to-face contact, where the world is changing. But it's changing for the better because now to be global, you can't be around the world. You need to be able to go through Zoom and different tools that we have now, and they need to approach it from a different learning perspective and then also a different skill set.
Mm-hmm. Walk me through a typical day of I Will. I am student A. I'm enrolled in I Will. I show up at what time? Take me through a day.
Okay, well, I'm going to take you through two types of scenarios.
Okay.
The first scenario I'm going to take you through is our vocational STEM program. You show up based on your job. If you have a job or if you don't have a job, you would show up around 9 o'clock. In the vocational STEM program, we have two areas that we're piloting right now, our CNC and also our welding. And what we would do is bring you in with a mentor and we will start training you. You'll get 2 to 3 hours of training. These mentors are apprentices who also serve as feeders for employment opportunities for you. Once you finish that, then you will go into maybe a 30 or 40-minute session. In that 30 or 40-minute session, that we will start talking to you about jobs. What is a 401k plan? What do you need in healthcare? What do you need to plan for the next level of your life? So we're there mentoring them on post-life skills that they need to take. For a student that comes in around 3 o'clock, we really have them look at our entire STEM lab, and depending on the area of their interest, it's trial and error. They may go over and try coding, they may go and try 3D printing, they may go over and try digital fabrication. We want them to be able to discover and find themselves and get excited and passionate about learning. So from there, they have about a 2-hour block, and then based on the skill set that they choose, then we take them down a pathway, whether vocational or educational, to achieve the ultimate goal, not to work in that field, but to actually be an owner in that field. And that's the mentality that we're getting them to do. If you choose to be a mechanic or engineer, that is perfectly fine. But we want to give you the skill set and the mentality that yes, you have to go and learn it, but we want you to be able to own that business, and not only own that business locally, but again, thinking on a national and a global level with that business, starting them out as youth.
Who is your target market? Who are the students, and how does one tap into the program?
Okay, great question, Lee. Our target market is every youth. We are a very diverse group. We believe the world is diverse, so therefore in which I Will Mentorship has to be diverse. However, we do focus on those students who lack resources and access to STEM, and college skill sets. And that's the group that we really want to focus on our area to give them those resources, because we believe that no matter what your zip code is, that every child can learn and every child can succeed if they're given the opportunity and they apply the hard work to it.
Cost?
0.
Y'all heard that? I'm going to make sure you heard that. Cost?
0, Z-E-R-O.
So there's really no excuse?
Absolutely, sir. There is none.
what should people do right now listening to you on TV, watching you on TV, and listening to you on my radio show? If they want to get involved, if a student is listening or a parent is listening, what should they do right now?
Come right here to the Southwest Florida Enterprise Center, ask for the I Will Mentorship Foundation. We'll welcome you into the family and get you started.
Now, Dr. Bryson, I'm assuming that you have some partners out there. You built a lot of partnerships, employers. I don't know if you're doing things with the school district itself.
Yes.
Talk about these partnerships that makes this whole engine flow.
Okay. The partnerships are very important because with our partnerships, we serve as a feeder program. And we provide them, for example, for the vocational school. We're often asked, what's the difference between what you're doing in a vocational school? We don't offer certifications, but we're going to give that individual their pathway, meaning that when they go there and say they want to go in welding, they already know that that's what they want to do is welding. They don't have to go in culinary and decide, I want to do welding. So therefore, in which it saves time to transition through education to workforce, and also it saves on finances, so you're not changing out from there. We have others that we put them into apprenticeship programs because one of the things we do with B&I is that these students come in, they're showing a commitment, they're showing up on a regular basis, then we can recommend them into an apprenticeship program so they can instantly go into the workforce, learn, earn, and start a career at the same time.
Give a phone number and or website.
Okay, the phone number to I Will is iwmf2.org or area code 239-628-7181.
You don't have a website yet?
iwmf2.org.
Okay, okay, all right. Hey, I didn't go to college. How about that?
But you are Sigma, so it's okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. Actually, I want you to hit me with a zinger. I'm just so thrilled to hear about this and what its impact is on the community. What's the long-term goal?
The long-term goal is for us to, I really want the Southwest Florida Community Center, along with I Will, to become the Greenwood of the South, okay? In addition to that, to be able to be a feeder unit for vocational and STEM and to be an attraction for businesses to come to the community and know that they have a employment bed of students and adults that are willing to work in those high-skill, high-paying jobs.
You said Greenwood of the South. Sesame Street, that for our audience. What is Greenwood? Greenwood
was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was one of the most successful black communities in America that was burned down, unfortunately. But it was coming together where the dollar actually circulated in that community 16 times before it left that particular community. We can also do that from an educational and an entrepreneur perspective, meaning that we have some of the greatest labor, some of the greatest intelligence here in the Dunbar community. And the Enterprise Center is providing us the tools that we can come together and collaborate as one and not as individuals. So therefore, in which we can bring our resources together and become a stronger community, city, and state.
I want to go back to what you hit on early on before I let you go, is the gardening concept and the feeding of people. Garden on community garden on Bourbon Street. I've seen some facsimile thereof. People were trying to get the garden going over the years. With the TV show, I've come around. So based on what you're telling me now, this is really happening. It's real now.
Yes, it's actually on Barton Street. And for the natives that's been here a while, it used to be the Phase 2 Lounge. And we know what the Phase 2 Lounge represented. Well, now that took away from the community. We've turned that area into giving back to the community. And giving back to the community, we want to turn our community into what they call a blue zone. A blue zone is giving us a healthy alternative to the fast foods and things that cause diabetes and generational health problems for our particular community. By doing that, we are still growing collard greens, but beside the collard greens, we're growing kale. Besides the okra, we're growing wheatgrass. We're also having health and nutrition classes. One of the more important aspects of it, we're showing them an environmental friendly way of growing without using pesticides, and also teaching environmental classes, where on our backside of our wall, which I challenge you to go by and look at, we have some historians on there, so it's an educational value that gives the community a self-esteem and appreciation of what those in the past have did, so that in the future we can do beyond and go beyond them.
When you say we, you have some expert horticultural people involved in this?
We do, but the first part of we is the community, and that's why it's called the Urban Community Farm, because we have some great people in the community. We have Mr. Roscoe Thurman, and we have other farmers that are in the community that we bring out there, and they serve as an educational purpose. They have a world of knowledge that they can impart onto not only myself, but impart onto the younger kids as they come out, because the Youth and I Will Mentorship Foundation, that is where they give back, is actually in the Urban Community Farm, where they're growing and they're learning about the environment and learning about their past at the same time.
What has been the overall response from the community and partners to the garden?
It's been, I couldn't describe words. They didn't know that it existed, and when they come there, they never want to leave, and they always come back and visit.
Man, that is outstanding. I always say on this show, I learn something every day. I certainly learned a lot today. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, sir.
So proud of you. And thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, as the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they are usually interrupted by those like Dr. Bryson and all the fine people who associate with I Will and Dragonfly who are doing it. And remember, Miami has the oranges, but Fort Myers got the
juice.
They got the juice. We'll be right back.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello everybody, this is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show, and if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch Lee Pitts Live on demand anytime, and also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live, and there you go.